Good morning. Happy Friday. This is Encounters. I'm CmdrAleon. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday in New England, and it is going to be nice out today. Our show from last night, hey, One Toyota. Our show from last night's on my YouTube channel, Astrocommand Spaceship News. Got a little bit of Sting in the background. Yeah, Spirit, good to see you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, planet Earth. Everybody around the world, good morning to you. Greetings, Len. Lots of activity these days, man. Seen a lot of sky activity, double dog run system. One Toyota, thank you for the heart puff. I am the commander. Welcome. This is a show that's out of this world. Normally we're on at 11 o'clock at night, and we're doing a morning show here for about an hour. We'll be on until about 10:30 Eastern. And tonight we'll be on at 11 o'clock with our live programming. Tonight we'll have our Ashtar Command Contact Show, the Encounters Ashtar Command Contact Show, a special evening with our brothers and sisters of the command who always are watching the show, and they're watching the show right now from the ship off planet. So it's good to have everybody here. If you're new to this is a show that's out of this world. We're here to bust the matrix, bust people's belief systems that they've been taught in school on Earth, and tear everything down to the core organically, to the point where there's no religion, there's no economic systems, there's no earth-based material systems, all the stuff that has been ingrained in us for whatever decade you came from. Hey, Lacey, good to see you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, all the people out there. We are amped up on a Friday here on Encounters. So when you're on TikTok, you might have seen it all, but you haven't seen it all. You see what I mean? Because we're going to blast everything into outer space. This is a UFO show that's different from any other UFO show out there on YouTube, and whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Because you're going to get the stories here. You're going to get the encounter information here. You're going to get the visitation stories here. You're going to hear people from all over the planet sharing their visitations, and you have. Alexa, play some ambient space music. Welcome to the show. Good to have everybody here. Paul, welcome. All the new people finding the show here this morning. If you've never heard about Encounters, that's why I'm on here, to let you know that this is a show that's definitely blasting the social media. Hey, Romeo, good to see you. Jeff, a drummer, Jeff. Okay, Alexa, play some Enigma. Alexa, play Enigma.
Shuffling songs by Enigma.
We're talking to Alexa. Hey, Ruben, welcome to the show. We love Enigma. They got that vibrational beat, amping it up, amping it up, amping it up. So we got the music going here behind me. Return this, and yes. And it's a good thing to be here on Earth today, because we're going to transform the planet, aren't we? We're going to bust the matrix. Everybody out here around the world, wherever country you're in, you're here to bust the matrix, to share the light. And where there's no light, the light will be. Len Gaffney, good to see you. JC Essence, good to see you. Karen Pratt, how's it going out there? Randall Wilson, KU, welcome KU. Let's see here. Ada Jennings, good morning. Blake Peterson. Let's see. Flatten, welcome Flatten. Good to see people. Nostalgia, all the people coming in here. Enjoy the show this morning. This is going to be our 1 hour show. Tonight will be our longer show. Today's a 1 hour show till about 10:30. And if you have a story to tell, if you have disclosure information, if you've been taken on board, positively taken on board a spaceship by space people, and you have over 200 followers, you can actually be a guest. If you have over 800 followers, you can be a guest on Encounters. That's right. You can go live on video. We prefer people to turn the camera on, make sure you're, appropriately dressed or whatever. But you can come on and share your stories about your visitations, your UFO sightings that you're documenting. We talk about everything in the galactic, cosmic realm. No paranormal discussion. People say, why not? There's 10,000 other people doing it. I'm very focused on disclosure, intergalactic communications, the spiritual aspects of ufology. I don't get into the nuts and bolts. That doesn't matter to me. William Sharp, thank you for the follow. We appreciate it. Everybody coming in here. Let's amp it up. Mr. Take Your Something. Donald, welcome, Donald. Moko. Tracy Jones, welcome, Tracy. Double Dog. Well, Double Dog, would you like to come up? Let's see what you got for followers. Double Dog, we're going to bring you up. I randomly select people, and I got a feeling you're going to be an interesting person. You have to be over 18, of course. Hey, Double Dog, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you? I turned my camera on, but my wife has a rule that if I TikTok, I can't turn my camera on.
Oh, you can't?
No, it's a mutual rule that we can chat, but we don't turn our cameras on.
Okay. Someday we're gonna have to bust the matrix on that one, right?
Yeah. I can do
So
it for myself.
tell me. I have a feeling you're an interesting person. What's your first name?
My name's Kim.
Oh, Ken. Okay.
Kim, K-I-M.
Oh, K-I-S. Did you say I got to turn my Alexa? Turn the music down, Alexa. You're too loud. Okay, Alexa, go down more. Alexa, turn the music down to 2. Okay, there we go. So, what was your first name? I'm sorry.
Kim, K-I-M.
Oh, Kim. I gotcha. No problem. So tell us, my name is CmdrAleon. I'm the host of the show at night usually, but I'm doing some morning shows this morning. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and you said you've seen many of these UFOs or spaceships. Can you tell us when that all started for you?
Yeah, actually, I would say probably 2000, what would have been about 8 years ago would be the first time I saw something that I could not explain. It scared me. I was sitting outside on my patio, and my wife, current wife now, we had just got together, and she says, "Look, you see that blinky?" And it looked like a plane at first, but it started blinking in different spots. There's no way it could be here or there or there. And then all of a sudden it lit up really bright and shot straight up. I jumped out of my chair. I ran inside. Scared me. Yeah.
How low was it compared to where you were? If you had to visually, like where you were standing, if you were to look up at the sky, how far up high was it from where you were?
It was at the height that you would see a plane in the distance over the tree line.
Oh, really? Okay, but it was very bright.
Yeah. I thought it was just a plane, just blinking. And then she made me realize that it wasn't just moving across the sky and blinking. It was blinking here and then back the other way and then up and then down. And she says, that's a UFO. She was more awakened than I was sooner.
Oh, you mean yeah. So that was your first experience. And what year was that happening?
That would have been, let's see here, 2004. So 2014.
2014. Okay.
Yeah.
And you were kind of freaked out when you were seeing it?
It was when it shot, I was intrigued initially, obviously, oh wow, I've been wanting to see something that I've never seen before.
Right.
I'm always asking the universe, come on, bring it. And finally I see it, but it's when it shot up, literally, it looked like a movie. I literally stood up, almost fell back in my chair and stumbled out of it. I did not expect something that grand. I expected it to maybe disappear, not light up and just shoot straight up in the sky.
Yeah, see, you don't know what to expect. So that was your first experience. So for our audience, as that proceeded to happen, what I have a feeling things got more intense as time went on with these sightings. Can you tell us what happened after all that happened, the first sighting?
Yeah, nothing happened for years. And then probably about 5 years later, um, I don't know, it was like right before COVID, all of that stuff. And I had started having dreams of
Mm-hmm.
seeing like light beings or whatnot. But then the dream would
Mm-hmm.
shift.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, I would be surrounded by a whole bunch of grays. But they were making this sound that bothered me. It sounded like almost like a wind up toy, like a
Yeah,
row,
those are the
row,
Zeta,
row,
by the way.
row.
The Greys are actually called Zeta, the big eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, those were
But these
Zeta. But go ahead.
they didn't seem like, and there was a woman with them. So this was a dream, but I wondered if it was sometimes.
Hmm.
Um,
Can
just
you
because I
explain
woke
in the
up.
dream about the woman? What did the woman look like?
She was in a white suit with a black tie, and her hair was pulled back nice and tight, very corporate, blonde.
Hmm.
And I basically, the dream was that there was a dam that was about to break over a bridge, and
Hmm.
there were a whole bunch of police with I think at the time there was a dam that was going to break, and they found a guy on a bridge that was like holding the bridge hostage somewhere at some point.
Hmm.
So I think maybe that kind of blended with it. But when
Hmm.
for some reason, I was there and they were going to shoot this being, but it was a light being. Just looked like a human form silhouette, but just lit up
Really?
in white. Yeah, like Cocoon. Remember Cocoon?
Ah, yes. So now I'm listening to every single thing you're saying. So this is very interesting. So the Zeta, the light being, did the light being appear before the Zeta?
Yep. So
Okay.
that's what was happening, and I was walking out towards it and turning around and telling the police, like, don't shoot. This is a light being, like, don't shoot. This is just a warning, it's okay. And just as I turned around and I reached out and we were going to touch hands, all of a sudden I was in my bed and I'm still dreaming.
Hmm.
And the door opens and a whole bunch of little grays come in sounding like these wind up
So
toys.
the door opens in your bedroom when you're in this dream thing, right?
Yes.
Well, that appears to be a dream. It wasn't a dream, but go ahead.
And all of a sudden there's like, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, like 9 to 10 grays that come in and they come around our bed. And they're just like lined around our bed. And this woman comes in next to last. So there's, a few of them, most of them come in, and then it's her, and then the last one that comes in and comes next to her. And she's standing
Hmm.
next to the bed. And I said, but it happened so fast. So from my dream, I said, no, um, it's a light being. It's a light alien. It's okay. And then
Right.
she
I like
comes
that.
into the room and she says, you mean these aliens? And they come marching around. And as soon as she said, you mean these aliens? And I looked at her and then I woke up.
So it looks like there's two different things going on here, everybody. Um, you're having an experience with two different things. The Zeta are involved in one aspect of this whole thing, and then there's the light being. The light being was a woman, right? This woman?
The light being looked like the cocoon. So
Right, the
the
cocoon,
being
right.
on the
Well, I saw
bridge,
the cocoon
it was no gender to it.
no gender, okay.
Right.
But the light being was a light being trying to communicate with you, and with the Zeta trying to stop. What was going on? There's two different types of things going on here.
Yeah, so when I was on the bridge with the light being, I said to the police, don't shoot. And as soon as I turned around to look at it and we put our hands out to meet hands,
Mm-hmm.
it the scene changed completely. So the light being wasn't anywhere around when the scene changed, and all of a sudden I'm in my room
Yeah.
and this lady's saying, you mean you mean these aliens? And they start marching around my bed.
So the ones
And the
that were
light,
marching around your bed were those the Zeta?
yes. but they
Okay,
didn't seem. They almost seemed like what do I want to say? Like machine-like instead of
machine-like, yeah, like
like a
robots, right?
biological,
Yeah,
being.
biological. Yeah.
Yeah. So almost like a
Hmm.
machine, a biological machine.
Yeah, no, I understand. But the
They
woman, the non-gender light being, did it communicate with you at all?
No, not at all.
No communications.
Nope.
What do you think the purpose was of the light being? I find this fascinating.
What do I think
Right.
it,
I mean,
it it
what were
was
you
a
getting
warning.
feeling wise?
It was a warning to everyone. But the feeling that I got on the light being was that it was afraid, more afraid of the humans, but was urgent to stop traffic to warn them
Hmm.
about something.
Hmm.
So maybe it was a warning, and maybe that's what the
Hmm.
symbology was, a warning
Yeah.
about this situation, and then it changes scenes. So maybe we should be warned about
Right.
that situation. I don't know. I've heard
Yeah.
many
Do you
things
think?
about the
Do you
Zetas.
think there's a deeper? I have a feeling. You see, when I hear these stories like this, that apparently to be like a dream. So there's situations happening here that we consider to be there's something more going on, so to speak, like the dam, the whole thing with the police, what all these things going on. There's something more going on here. So your brain is trying to translate it into a common understanding. But the interesting part of this whole dream, which I call a cosmic dream, is that you have a light being, no gender. You have the Zeta coming into this whole thing. There's something else going on here, much deeper than. There's a lot more going on. Let me put it that way. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's obviously the light being obviously is like you say in Cocoon is a very very advanced spiritual being of light. The Zeta come into the scene and they're operating and they're basically I would agree somewhat robotic. They're being controlled by someone else or some other group. They're being controlled. Robotic would probably be for the moment the word I would use for it, the way they responded, correct?
Yes, and what's interesting is that as I've done more diving deeper into what's going on here, because there's so many stories, you don't know what's real
Hmm.
information, what's not.
Right.
I've learned that according to that the Zeta or whatnot, a form of the Greys, one of the Greys, they were their species was dying out or whatnot, and
Right.
they had to produce these biological clone machine type things
Right.
um, to do their work or whatnot, and that they work in hand with our three-letter agencies or the
Right.
deeper
That would be actually
parts.
accurate what you're saying to be true.
Okay, awesome. Thank you,
Yeah.
because
No,
it's hard to weed
it's
out.
true.
But true. Um,
Yeah.
so I think this woman, that's what I got the feeling on her of. She was very Sharon Stone,
Hmm.
business down to,
Yeah.
you know, but I woke up and I had a mark on my hand. Um,
And when you say you had a mark in your hand, did you have that mark before you had this dream?
no. And as
I'm telling you.
I joked with
Yeah,
my
you didn't have a
wife,
dream.
I, yeah, um, I don't know. I had this mark on my hand, right
Hmm.
between my pointer finger and my thumb, right in that soft
Hmm.
spot there.
And that wasn't there before the so-called dream occurred, right?
No.
Let me say something. And if you're new to the show, I read energy. I read when people tell me their visitation experiences, I can get information. So they made it seem like a dream when it wasn't a dream. So they figure, oh, we'll make it look like a dream, but yet you weren't really dreaming. You were actually there was more going on than this whole thing with a dam. I believe you were actually taken to another place. They made everything look conventional with the dam and all this stuff going on. There's something else going on. The fact that you just mentioned you had this thing happen with you when you woke up that there's this marking there. That's because you were taken off planet to make it look like you were dreaming. The light being interacted, and I think the light being was trying to protect you from the Zeta.
That, yeah, I think it probably was a,
That's
like I
what it
said,
was.
like
The light
the
being,
urgency of a warning.
the warning, yeah, the light being was trying to protect you from the Zeta. The robotic like beings were doing. They were being brought there by some other group of ETs that were there that were not of the highest interest, so to speak. The light being interacted, interceded to try to protect you from, and was warning you what was going on with the Zeta. So that's an interesting story because as I'm reading a story, I'm reading through the part of the thing where the damn thing happened and all that. There was an interaction with the light being, which came there to help you. And that light being actually will communicate with you again if you wish to learn how to do that.
Well, actually, that makes sense because now I'm wondering, like now as we learn that light beings, ETs, like we could have seen them as angels. They're some interdimensional beings or whatnot. A few years later, I had another dream that woke me up. It felt so real. I was, going through the spiritual awakening and,
Mm-hmm.
just trying to be a better human being overall.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember asking, as I learned more about like the solar flash and collective consciousness, I had asked, right before I fell asleep, that was my question I asked was, am I okay? Am I doing it right? Like I know I'm not perfect, but am I okay? Am I doing it
Mm-hmm.
right? Am I going to make
Mm-hmm.
it through this? I don't want to stay in the 3D. I want to move.
Right.
And that I woke up, it woke me up. I've had several experiences like this where something interacts with me and I don't know what it is.
Interesting. What
Um,
happened in this dream, though? Can you get into it
I
more? This new
Yeah,
one?
it was very quick. I think I fell asleep, but all of a sudden, I had a vision of this beautiful angel, nothing, just a woman in robes, white robes, but
Mm-hmm.
she
Mm-hmm.
was, almost ghost-like, floating over me and my wife, like covering us.
Mm-hmm.
And all she said was she was just looking at us, nicely, kind of smiling. And
Mm-hmm.
then she whispered in my ear and she said, "You are protected." But the P and
Mm-hmm.
the T's in the pop of it, I could feel on my ear, like the breath and the
Mm-hmm.
P and the T's of the pop is what woke me up.
So let me say something about that. Okay, that wasn't a dream. You had an angelic being communicating with you physically. You weren't dreaming. Your mind was in a situation where it went to what you call making you think you had a dream. The angelic being was actually real. The light being in the first dream, then you have the angelic being, which is also part of the galactic light levels, communicated with you and said you were well protected. The light being was there to protect you. The angelic being was there to protect you. So I want you to realize these so-called dreams, and I want to hear more of these stories. I'm actually going to give you confirmation. You're not dreaming. You're having real experiences.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it
are.
felt real. It did. It felt
It was real.
real.
Yeah,
Um
it was real.
yeah, and I can't I don't think that I've seen any others in my dreams since then, but
Mm-hmm.
I have, sometimes heard things that only there's been twice that I've heard things that were not me, were not my voice,
Mm-hmm.
was something else. And
Mm-hmm.
at one point I was falling asleep and it was right before it's right between that moment of wake and sleep, like just before
Mm-hmm.
you right on the cusp. And I heard this voice coming in. It sounded and reminded me like some like hippie chick, super happy hippie chick.
Right.
And she said something to me like, "We love your," I don't know if it was O bus or it was something that I didn't know what she said. "We
Yeah.
love your da 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 da." And then this male voice comes in. And the thing that worried me about it is it almost sounded not quite sinister, but just the way he said it, like just like overly content. And he says, "We We will so enjoy working through you.
Working through you. So here's what you need to do, because you seem to be attracting two different levels of ETs and the angelic. Do you know what Christ consciousness is?
Yes.
Okay. So what I want you to do is close your eyes for a moment, and we're going to do something here. And every once in a while, I know it's the right thing to do with somebody, and it's right to do it with you, and I want your permission to do this.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. I want you to say very, very clearly, with strength within your whole spirit, cosmic spirit, I am a Christed being of light.
I am a Christed being of light.
And no extraterrestrial group or being is going to work through me.
And no extraterrestrial group or being is going to work through me.
I am a Christed being of light.
I am a Christed being of light.
I'm empowered in the cosmic light always.
I am empowered in the cosmic light always.
I am protected by the Ashtar Galactic Command.
Wait, but I don't know the Ashtar Galactic Command.
I'm going to tell you they are. That's the people I work with. I'm from the Ashtar Command. I do a talk show, but I come from Mars. I'm here in human form. I have human consciousness. They are Christed beings of light for spiritual planetary worlds of peace. They are human, just like us. The angelic realm, the light beings that you talk about, the one that you talked about, all those types of beings work within the Ashtar Galactic Command. So they're very beautiful, loving people. My friend has been taken on 17 times now in Vermont, and we're part of a group that's going to be going off planet in less than a year to do mission work. So yeah, they're very, very beautiful. So I should probably have explained it to you, but that's who they are, and they are. I have 4 space beings here in my house that are with me from the command always, and I've done a lot of workshops with people where I take them off planet and protect them in the Christ consciousness, and Christed beings take them and protect them as well when we get to the spaceship, which is called the Golden Ship of Light. So that's what that is, just to give you some background of that before we go into it. So yeah, that's the highest level of protection, and they are beautiful men and women, and that's what I want you to know. That's what we're doing here. We're going to protect you from any of when you said this other group or this male voice said we want to work through you. That's a no-no. No one should be working through anybody.
That's what I thought. Like I've had that feeling as well. So I appreciate that. So yes, what was I supposed to say?
Okay, so now you're going to say, I am protected by the Ashtar Galactic Command.
I am protected by the Ashtar Galactic
Command. There you go. And one more time. I am a Christed being of light.
I am a Christed being of light.
And no one other than those of the life forces can communicate with me.
And no one other than those of the life forces can communicate with me.
Beautiful. Well done. So what we just did now is you're now well protected. You've empowered yourself, and you're not going to let some male voice say, "Oh, we'll work through her." It's not going to happen. You won't let it happen. You can put a bubble of protection around your home, around your beingness. Nothing like that will ever happen because now you know what to do. Correct?
Yes. And actually, I do that.
Oh, you
and
do?
I have had to do that. Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it came from. Like my wife had, told me to shield, but
Yeah.
I had to figure out my own. She was like, you can't. You have your own unique way.
You
So I
have
do
to.
that, where I kind of throw out a complete shield of like bubble of light.
Oh, good. And now you can
And I
even
will.
say, when you want the Ashtar Command to help you, they will be there for you. All you have to do is ask. That's all you have to do.
I have a question about the ships when you're saying taking people on, because my
Yes.
wife also has these kinds of interactions.
Mm-hmm.
where she had a dream where, well, which you're saying is probably not a dream,
Right.
where she arrived on a ship with a crew of people, or a whole bunch of people around, and apparently I was already there.
Mm-hmm.
And they had already taken me through the process, and she was asking them, like we would, of course, no, like what is this? Where are you taking me? I'm not here to be
Right.
another, slave of something else.
Mm-hmm.
And the beings laughed at it, and they said, she said that you would say that. Kim's,
Mm-hmm.
she's already on, she's already here. We
Right.
just got to do a couple things. So they were pushing her through to bring her to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I often wonder, because she was laughing at how they were laughing at her, saying, she said you would say this, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Your friend seems to be pretty. Was your friend more involved in this way before you were, or what happened?
no, my wife was, she's always had gifts of some
Mm-hmm.
sort.
Well, that's I
Uh,
mean,
yeah. But as far as like her extraterrestrial interactions or
yeah. Mm-hmm.
interdimensional stuff, I don't think too much. She just has
Mm-hmm.
this like chill understanding. Like I'm like, wow, mind blown. She has just a
Right.
chill understanding, as if it's already part of everything.
Right. She's kind of chill about it, and she understands it.
Right. Right.
That makes sense. That's pretty cool. But you're gonna, I do understand from all the stories you just told me. You're going to. Um, hmm. How would you like to have an experience right now for a moment that's very, very positive?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I'm going to do something here. People that watch my show since I've been on TikTok know the things I say I can do, I can do. The reason why, when I came to Earth in this human body as a baby, I was also given activations before I came here. So I didn't know as a kid. I'm just a kid growing up. I didn't know I had a lot of UFO or spaceship sightings. I didn't know I had abilities until I got older. So there are certain things that were given to me before I came off planet to Earth, and I have those abilities activated now. So I would like to do something. I want to gift you with something here for a moment. All right. I want you to close your eyes, and I'm going to send an Ashtar Command spaceship, a small ship, over your area. And when I do that in a nanosecond, the ship will be there. And then the ship will, in about 15 minutes, it'll leave and come back where it was before. So what we're going to do is have you close your eyes, take a deep breath, relax, and just feel the beauty of love and everything within your heart. And as you're relaxing, and you are, there'll be two space beings, a man and a woman, that will come down off the ship. Okay. I want you to keep your eyes closed, clear your thoughts out. Don't let your mind interfere with this. Just center yourself and know that you are loved.
Got it.
Okay, you are loved. And as we do this, don't even think about anything. But in a moment, you're going to feel an energy shift of warmth coming through the room you're in. Almost about now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I did feel like a little bit of a temperature warmth. Oh wow.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my, the color
I want
in here.
to, they're going to actually, the woman, again, don't think of anything. And folks, what I'm doing here is actually real. If you don't believe it, this has been part of my activation. Come to Earth. I'm not from this planet, and I'm able to do certain things. Okay, so as you have your eyes closed, the woman is going to touch your forehead. She's going to just gently touch it in a moment. Don't think about it. It's going to activate something cosmically that's good, that'll activate something in your consciousness. It's going to activate your ability to remember more things. She'll be touching your right shoulder and your forehead in a moment. And the warmth will increase, the warmth of peace, that warmth of feeling, the vibrational energy.
Oh, that's cool.
Did you feel anything?
Like a little, so it's just like a very slight, very, very, very slight. Like if I wasn't looking for it, I wouldn't notice it.
You would notice it.
Yeah, I
Was it
wouldn't.
the slight? Was it the touching of the forehead or the shoulder?
Um, it was more like that that side of my body, like that
Okay.
from
Okay.
my forehead to my shoulder, like almost like a
Right.
circle
The forehead
covering
to
it.
your shoulder. Yes. So she did gently touch your forehead and then touched your shoulder. And the energy is pure love. What you did is you're going to have more memory of a cosmic level of who you are, and that has been gifted to you now. You're going to be able to not be blocked from remembering things. You also are one that has come also from beyond Earth. You might not know that yet, but as time goes on, you're going to understand it.
Is that why some of us feel, I mean, I don't feel that way anymore. Like the more I become awakened, I feel connected to
Mm-hmm.
all things that are and more to this earth and what the purpose is here. But is that why many people just feel like, I want to go home? There were years where I was like, I want to go home.
Right.
But I'm not talking about here on earth. I felt like there was
Right.
another home.
Have you felt like you want to go home? Not here on Earth, but want to go home?
Not in the last few years. Not since I've seen where we could go.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it. You know.
You want to see
I
it,
want
of course. You want to be here
to.
for it because you're
Yeah,
supposed to be here for it. You want to
and
experience what's going to happen. Yes.
it's not. Yeah, I guess it's just not experience. It's that I was shown another dream. I guess maybe this is another interaction
Mm.
um, where I had another of these channels on TikTok here, and it was called Higher Frequency,
Hmm.
and I did very well with it. And I was trying to get the truth out, you know, and I would always tell people, I don't know if this is true or not, but it's important to look at, you know,
Mm.
just because I felt that the world needed to wake up. Um, and in my dream, I had, right before I asked, of course, before I go to sleep, I ask a question that I don't realize I ask. And the question was, because I was reading about like the 144 and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I had gone to bed going, it can't just be that. That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Hmm.
So, as I was dreaming, I was walking a dark path. I had a torch out in front of me, and I felt like I had been going from town to town, basically like spreading news. But I felt like I was falling on deaf ears. Everybody was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, right, yeah, right." I couldn't see any, like, you held the torch out and that's all you could see was just where the torch was. You couldn't see ahead of you, around you, anywhere. That's how dark it was.
Yeah.
And I remember getting to the top of a hill and I said to myself, oh, I should take a break. But then I thought, it's dark. I need to move on. I can't just stop. I have these things to tell people. So then, as I go to take a step, and I even thought in my head, like, why am I even doing this? And I go to take a step and somebody taps me on the shoulder and I turn around and it's this big, tall dude. He had to be like 12 feet, 15 feet tall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, all dressed in white robe. I never saw his face. He
Really?
had a big, yeah, had a big hood on, but I never saw his face. I just saw his outline and he said to me, turn around. And so I turned around and I'm like, yeah. And he says, hold your torch up. And I hold my torch up and I'm like, yeah, I don't see anything. And he says, look again, and he waves his arms, and out goes this light, like a wave of light over all the mountains, and it almost looks like, have you ever seen at the end of 300 when there's a whole army ready to go over the hills as far as you can see?
Oh,
and you
yeah.
see all of these people with all these lights. They have torches of their own, but I couldn't see them.
Hmm.
And I said, there's so many. I said, oh my gosh, there's so many. And he said, there will be many. There will
Hmm.
be many. And so I woke up the next morning, and I happened to be reading this thing. It's the third testament of the Bible. It was like 1980 something. It was channeled or
Hmm.
something like this. So I'm reading this, and I open it, and what do you know? I turn to the page that says, "That is a multitude that no man can number."
Hmm.
Not just that; it's a multitude that no man can number. And I remember, and I'm not a religious person. Like I
Right.
look into different things because I want to see where things line up. So I thought that was interesting. So that was
Yeah.
another interaction that I possibly could have had, but it wasn't a message for me. I felt that it was a message for all the truth seekers out there. All
It
the
was a message for humanity, basically. What your story is, what it was is what they were, the robed being was saying, and I can translate it to something that there. Thank you, Pamela. I can translate it for you. What that being in the white robe was saying, that comes from a very high level of light, was, be ready. There are many, many space people coming to Earth. That's what that was. So even though the dream was translating it the way you were seeing it visually in your eyes in the inner level, uh, there are many, many space beings, space people coming to Earth. When was that dream?
that would have been about a year ago.
Yeah.
But the feeling that I got on it was that, like, the point that I felt that he was making to me was that you may not see, like, you may be telling these truths, and you may
Right.
think that you are falling on deaf ears and that no one's listening, but what you're doing is you're planting a seed. So even if you
Hmm.
awaken one person to one thing, you plant that little
Right.
seed.
Yeah.
They take it and they're going to tell the next person who tells the next person, and they go tell 5 people. So what he was kind of saying is, like, you're not going to see it. It's behind you, but there's a multitude of people that basically people that are trying to spread the truth right now and just wake people up and unite people,
Hmm.
um, to not to not think that you're not doing anything. You're not going to see it, but you will
Right.
on the back end a long time. But you're not going to see those people that you touched, that you planted those seeds, but they're
Right.
there, and it's many, and you don't realize how many. Just like
Hmm.
you're touching many, and you have no idea how many at the end of the day.
Yeah, I just do what I do. Like, you're right. You're just touching many people. We all are. And the thing is, but I also got that not only you're touching people, and everybody in the audience is touching people. I know many of you out there watching the show are reaching out to individuals that might be a friend. You've finally told them about what's coming in terms of contact or things of that nature now. So what happened to you in this thing a year ago, there's multiple levels of it. Yes, you are definitely individually touching people, but I think also the being in the robe was also saying that to get prepared, be ready for something major. And a lot of people here watching this, you will eventually have dreams. If you're not having them yet, you'll be having dreams about contact. Many of you will. And I guarantee it, whether it happens this year, next month, or whatever, if you focus on that and find a place to meditate and be clear in your consciousness, you could actually tune into that level of vibration to know what's happening. But a lot of times people don't, because they're so involved in everyday life on the planet, they don't take time to do that for themselves. So I think your dreams are also in this case, it's a message to you, and I think you got the message of what that means.
Yeah, this has been such a crazy last few years here, Commander, if you really think about it, of the back and forth of, the argument of, are they good, are they bad, are they this, are they
Right,
that?
right,
And at one point I had thought, no, like I follow Greer. Oh, he says that they all are. But at the same time, now he's starting to say, no, but there's groups that,
Right. Oh, thank you, Debbie.
are not great. And I would think that if you're a 3D, 4D being, you're going to have that light and dark. You're not going to be, so I would think there would be good and bad within.
Yeah, there's like less than 5% of the beings that are negative. 95% of all the beings in Beyond Earth are human, contrary to what they show you on YouTube channels, documentaries. Most of the documentaries show the space people or beings looking like monsters, and that's just a lie. They've been, there's an agenda by different governments to project into Hollywood and through documentaries, and even on TikTok and YouTube. I see it again and again, which is really sad that people, the only images they can use in their backgrounds are these ETs that look like monsters or have big heads or look like they're dark gray skin and they look like they're not happy. And that's the images that most people use because they're programmed to believe that's what it is. So if I were to show you an image right now, which I will, let me just do this here. I'm going to show you an image now of a human space being. Show everybody right now. And if you look at this being, this is my friend in Vermont. This is her mother. Her mother's with the Ashtar Command. Now it's going to be a little bit fuzzy because they came through a rift into her home. They open up again. If you're a human, you might not understand this from an Earth-based. Your 3D mind's not going to comprehend it. But you can see her light skin, the light color, olive complexion. She has long hair, and this was taken a few weeks ago in Vermont. And she goes on to ships now 17 times. So I'm showing a physical, real photo that her security cameras picked up, and she's been able to document. And this was her mother who came through. So she has her face, her hair, very, very human. And it's something that most people, let me just go back here and get out of this part. I'll show another picture of a Ashtar Command space being. So this would be a picture. This is again an artist rendition of a space person. So most times when people show a background of a space being or ET, they show ones that look like they're skinny, no spacesuits on, no, they look like, evil or whatever. This is an artist rendition of an actual space being that looks human. And 95% of the space people are human. They're not the ones that people keep pushing on their YouTube channels and everywhere else, because it's easier to take a picture of what is typically projected in the programming consciousness of the media. And this is what people use. They use it on documentaries, all these other types of negative ETs. You'll never see me show a picture of a negative ET. Never. Because it's a lie. The projection is they want you to think that the world's going to be taken over by some negative ET beings, and it's just not true. So I do the pushback on my show, and this is the kinds of things you need to see, is that the beings of light are space people from other worlds, and they're not the ones that look ugly that everyone seems to project, including Hollywood movies and also documentaries. Okay?
Commander, you mean these are like physical, like the physical beings that we see?
Yes, physical beings that are beautiful men and women that are here to assist us. Contrary to what, the whole thing of the Star Wars program, the so-called Space Force. That's all created to prevent the space beings, or try to prevent the spiritual beings of light from coming to Earth, but they can't stop them, because the space people that I'm connected with are far more advanced than anything any government has that they've created secretly. Everything can be shut down. The Space Force, whatever thing the Space Force thing is, it can be shut down in a nanosecond, and it probably will be by the space people.
Now, are
The
they
people.
beings that come and shut down all the nuclear testing and whatnot?
Yeah. So I grew up in the '60s. Good question. And the Ashtar Command, the space people, prevented us from blowing up our planet. They shut down all the missile silos in the '60s when they were being activated to shoot missiles up, nuclear missiles. There were electronic malfunctionings of their equipment in the '60s, and these nuclear silos. They couldn't operate them. They were being shut down. The spaceships would come over the base and shut down the nuclear silos. And in a lot of countries, it was many countries. So that's just one rendition
But now, what?
of what a space being, of a positive, again, artistic rendition. But I want people to look at this projection. And when you go on YouTube and see all this other stuff, just realize it's fear-based garbage. It's there to make people think, uh-oh, we got to protect ourselves. When the space contact happens, they're going to be here to gobble us up. It's not true. Don't believe any of that. There are agendas out here. The government has an agenda. Most of the governments that are involved in this have an agenda. Hollywood has an agenda to essentially make people afraid. Don't be afraid, because it's all lies.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, most of, well, not most, but we're heading towards the majority of humanity
Yeah,
that's waking up, and that I think that even if there were beings that came from another spot, another place, whether humanoid or not, hopefully we would be at a place where we say no, we will, we're not following anybody. We will work with, we will, do whatever, but we're not following anybody. We had
right,
humans do that to us. Like that's enough. Hopefully we would be sound minded enough and it wouldn't turn into like the show V, like where people
right.
start to, worship or whatnot.
And Kim, if you look at this picture here, this is from my friend in Vermont. This is a large spaceship in northern Vermont in the mountains. And this is an Ashtar Command ship. And if people look, I know it's, again, the security camera, the vibrations of the spaceship affect the camera. But what you're looking at here, if you look carefully, are human space people in the ship. And they were waving at her while the security cam was recording it. And this is an Ashtar Command spaceship. You're seeing in the dark, in the mountain area where she is, you're seeing this huge spaceship. And there's windows in it, and they're waving out to her on the security cam.
Oh wow, that is so cool. What
Yeah.
about what about orbs that you catch in pictures? What are those? Because I do landscape work. And it's so funny because at some properties, when I complete the job and like mulch it, make it look beautiful, I caught recently in the last 2 weeks this beautiful orb. I took two pictures back to back, like click, click, showed up in one of them. And it was beautiful. Um, Let me see if I
Well,
can. What are those? Are those extra
well,
dimensional? Are we talking paranormal? Where are we going with something like
yeah.
that?
Well, it depends. Some orbs are interdimensional things. Some orbs are the ones that are not paranormal, the ones that are related to the space beings. They can do so many different things. That orb could be a light being that looks like an orb and then changes in the structure of its body. Could just like appear as an orb and all of a sudden say, "Here I am," in a full 7 feet tall being, man or woman, that is able to configure themselves in any which way they want because they're so advanced. So, good question. But the ones that are more ET related orbs, you would know the difference just by the feeling. The orbs that are people have experiences that are from ones that have passed over, those are a little bit different. I don't, but again, the differences are the energy frequency, the vibrational feeling of what you're getting from that orb. I don't deal with the paranormal at all, but I can say that the orbs that people have talked about here on the show are much more of the intergalactic, cosmic kind of thing.
All right.
Good question.
So what we're dealing with as like a whole of what humanity has to kind of figure out here, which science is going to eventually prove here, is that it's not just, physical ET beings that are like us, physically structured, but we also have interdimensional beings of higher and lower frequencies.
Absolutely.
Okay. So yeah, but we have been trying to be taken over for a while now. My understanding that it's several different groups that have been trying to do that, but we do have the background group like Ashtar Command and maybe several others that have linked up to help humanity because we're worth it.
And let me tell you something too. You did a good point, and I have to leave in like 3 minutes here, and that'll be on tonight at 11 o'clock. Just like people know, you're watching Encounters this morning. Tonight is our special. Every Friday night we do a contact event on Friday nights, Ashtar Command Q&A. If you don't know a lot about the Ashtar Command, I am part of the Ashtar Command. I came to Earth from the Ashtar Command, and I'm a Christed being of light. I'm also human consciousness, galactic consciousness, Christed consciousness. It's a whole story, but anyway. So back to what you're saying, the negative ETs are being taken off planet right now. They're being rounded up, so to speak. That's the word I'll use. There are stations in different parts of the world where they are taking them on Ashtar ships for a one-way ticket out. So these beings that are trying to cause mischief, the ETs that are lower vibration, they want to do what they're doing, and they're being caught and they're being taken off planet. So you're going to see that at the time of contact, all the negative ETs that are trying to hide out on the planet, whether it be in a mountain area or wherever they are, they will be found by the Ashtar Command, which I work with, and they are going to be put on a ship, and they're going to be sent one way out. The ship won't come back. They'll be sent off planet. They're going to be gone.
Well, I hope so, and I have heard that. I believe Alex Collier actually discusses that. And I have one last question for you. Have you seen the Great Awakening map?
The Great Awakening map. Years ago, there was a thing called I Am map, but a Great Awakening map, I have not seen that yet. No.
Yeah, if you check it out, it kind of like goes, it's very interesting, and it seems to be, when I'm looking at it, it seems to be true, and it talks about the solar flash, it talks about rainbow light body, it talks about the ETs and how how they worship AI, and where that came from, was originally part of Source, but then broke off. So it's just a very interesting thing. So if you haven't checked it out, I think it's greatawakeningnmap.com.
I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, check it out. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on it, because it goes through pretty much everything that's happening, and it came out before a lot of this stuff was getting exposed.
Interesting.
The plan of the White Pact.
You should join us tonight. We're going to be on we're not doing any interviews tonight, but we're going to have our Ashtar Command night, and it's a night where we have contact. My friend has a second phone, and they use the second phone. Our space family uses it. They communicate with us sometimes through words and through music. So and music has a message. So whenever they do certain music, there'll be a message behind it.
Oh, very cool. Well, I know you have to go. I have to go too. And what time is that? You said that's at 11?
11 o'clock Eastern tonight. It's the Ashtar Command Encounters Ashtar Command Q&A and contact special. We do this every Friday, and we're very focused at that point on the Ashtar Command, which I work with, and so is my friend April. And so I hope all of you can join us tonight. We appreciate everybody here being here, and I appreciate you, Kim, for coming on and sharing your stories.
Thank you so much for having me, and you have a great day.
You too. Everyone, let's give a round of applause, and please show your support for what I'm doing here. If you want to do a Venmo My Cash App is Venmo. And also, we'll do just some final gifting here for the show. I've set up some galaxies here, so I can, if you want to send a galaxy our way, I haven't seen those for eons, it looks like. Everybody have a wonderful day. Midnight, good to see you, everybody out there. It's a happy Friday. Thank God the sun's out. It's going to be a beautiful day. Tomorrow morning, the commander is going to be microforming. I'm getting prepared to grow watermelons. So a lot of things you don't know about me. I have a real love for growing watermelons, grapes, strawberries, and I'm going to be adding blueberries. That's in my microforming light garden here. So I'll be doing that tomorrow morning. And it's good to grow your stuff, to grow your own stuff. So it's great to see everybody. Any gifting you would like to do, you can do any kind of gift you want. If you have TikTok coins, you don't know how to use them, but you've built up a bunch of TikTok coins, please show your support for what our mission is and the work we do, our encounters, the spiritual UFO talk show. Gerard, thank you for the heart me. Any other gifters, please feel free to unconditionally gift what we do. As a matter of fact, we did set the goal up here. And it is pinned, so if you can do a galaxy, hey, Jared, if you can do a galaxy or two, folks, Pizza Anxiety, that's a good name. Jody K, thanks for being here, Jody. We appreciate all the new people finding us. We hope you all have a beautiful Friday. And tonight we'll be on for an exciting show, our Astro Command Contact show. We have a big event coming up on May 25th. Memorial Day weekend, we're going to be doing an Ashtar Command CE5 contact event live on here on TikTok in an apple orchard field. If you want more information about that, go to my main page. You can see the video footage and email me if you're in the region and you want to know more about it. And let's just see here. So we're going to say goodbye for this morning. Everybody take care. Have a great day. Enjoy your Friday. We'll be with you tonight. Enlightened. Good to see you. Shani, everybody coming in here. Join us tonight, 11 o'clock, if you're new to the show. We're trying to do some morning shows, but our big show is on at night, normally at 11 p.m. All right, everybody take care. And remember, keep your eyes to the skies.